Hey guys, how are we doing today? This is Wally again with LearningNet.com, and in today's video I wanted to talk about Coolhandle. Coolhandle's web hosting and if you should use it or not to create your websites online today. If you guys are new here to this channel for LearningNet.com, hit the subscribe button along with the bell, and that way any future videos guys that I put up you'll be sure to receive them. So I've been looking at Coolhandle for quite some time, and I decided to get started with them, open an account, and I wanted to reveal to you guys some things that you should consider about Coolhandle's platform, their web hosting, pricing, and even their customer service in this review to help you to make a solid decision about them. If you guys are creating your very first website, pay really great attention to the information that I'm going to share with you guys, because really I'm going to talk about three main things that I feel matter most to me when it comes to creating websites online and making a really good decision as for which web hosting provider that you should side with. I'm going to talk about customer service that I mentioned a little bit in the beginning of this Coolhandle review. Customer service is extremely important to me. I want to talk also about Coolhandle's pricing for the web hosting itself. And lastly, I wanted to talk about uptime. It's a very important thing to know about before you get started with. Again, how's the customer service, the pricing, how that works, and of course uptime, which really measures how reliable and how a website really performs, online. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in this Coolhandle web hosting review, and hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will know if Coolhandle is for you or not. So just a little bit about me, guys. If you're totally new to this channel for LearningNet.com, I've been online for several years, and during this time I've been able to create different websites and blogs using different web hosting providers. When I usually look at a web hosting provider, or I'm asked to look at one, those are the main three areas that I mentioned on the onset that I really like to hone in on. Obviously, because if I'm going to be recommending something to you guys, I want to be sure myself that is something that'll work out for you. So again, I typically look at customer service, uptime, and also the pricing. I mean, there's some other things that matter to me as well that we'll talk about a little bit more as we proceed, with this Coolhandle review. But those are the main three things that really concern me. Of course, when you're creating a website online, you want to have all of the web building tools that you'll need to be able to create your website, the softwares. I mean, you can do it with WordPress, as most of the websites out there are created using WordPress. You can do it with Joomla, Drupal, as well as some other, CMS platforms, all of which are available to you at Coolhandle. But let's talk first about the pricing for the web hosting itself. I'm going to leave some links right below for you guys in the description portion of this video, and so that way you can use those to get started with Coolhandle. If you do use them, you guys can get up to an 81% discount from this channel on Coolhandle's web hosting itself. So again, take advantage of those links below. They are affiliate links, so do receive credit for it if you do use it, but you benefit by getting a deep discount on your web hosting itself. So let's talk about pricing. When you think about any web hosting provider out there, guys, whether you're new or you're advanced, or somebody who's thinking about perhaps migrating your website over to Coolhandle, you understand, or need to understand, that there are really two prices that you're working with any web hosting offer that's out there, and obviously Coolhandle is not the exception. One, you have a regular pricing, what the web hosting actually costs you to get started, with it. Then you have what's called like a promotional cost, which is a promo or a special deal that the web hosting provider is promoting right now. And so the real benefit to the promo deal is that, one, if you lock in for a very long time, say 2-3 years, you benefit not only on the front and back end by saving a lot of money, but if you lock in for a shorter period with it, and this is just in general, not only considering Coolhandle, but with any web hosting provider that's out there, when you lock in for 2-3 years, you get to lock in those low rates. And obviously when your term finishes, after 2 or 3 years, whatever time that you decide to book your web hosting, it's just going to revert back to the regular cost of the web hosting that is in place. And so you need to understand that as a beginner and a newbie to web hosting, If you don't understand that, you should understand that the pricing across the board with Coolhandle is super cheap. It's very inexpensive. I think it's very competitively priced in comparison to a lot of their competitors that are online that offer the same or very similar features to them. There are 3 plans that you can really choose from when you get started with Coolhandle, with the links below. There's a starter plan, the business plan, and there's a plan called the professional web hosting plan, which gives you unlimited everything across the board. But the prices really start around the $395 mark itself. The business plan is $495, and the pro or the professional web hosting plan, guys, starts at $895 per month. All of these prices that I just mentioned that I'm going over with you guys in this Coolhandle review are discounted. They're promo rates, so if you lock in today using the links below, you guys are going to save up to 81% off with your web hosting today. So again, take advantage of the links that are right below, and that way you can get started today with Coolhandle. So with the starter plan itself, I think it's really ideal for beginners. If this is going to be your very first website online, the starter plan is ideal. It'll allow you to host one website, which is all that you'll need anyway. One thing that I really love about Coolhandle that you don't get with a lot of other web hosting providers that are out there, and I'll name a few of them, is that as for storage space, they're giving you upfront 50 gigabytes of storage space. And so you have a lot of resources, even on the first tier with the starter plan with Coolhandle, that you don't get with other providers. For example, SiteGround, another web hosting provider that I really love and use. I've created like 12 sites with them to date with their Grow Big plan. They only give you 10 gigabytes on their with their startup plan itself, which is the first tier. The second tier, to Grow Big, that I'm using, with them, gives you 20 gigabytes. And then Go Geek, which is the third tier, gives you 30 gigabytes. But again, with Coolhandle, their web hosting on the very first tier for only $395, you're getting 50 gigabytes of storage space. So again, that's 5 times as much on the first tier. Again, it'll allow you to create one website, which is all you need if you're a newbie. And I think that's more than enough in the way of resources for beginners. So that's why I recommend looking at Coolhandle and using a web hosting to create your blog, your website, or even if you want to create like an e-commerce store to sell products, you can do that as well. When you look at the business plan itself, which is the second tier, it goes for $495, as I mentioned before. This one does have a lot of unlimited features. You do get unlimited storage space, bandwidth. You can host unlimited websites on it. So if you guys are into like affiliate marketing, network marketing, maybe you're an Amazon affiliate and you need to create multiple websites for different niches or what have you, then I think like the business and pro are really ideal for that. Something that you get in addition to the unlimited resources is that with the business plan you get $250 in marketing credits. So they're really great if you want to utilize like Google to drive traffic, targeted traffic, to your website out the gate. You can use those credits to do that. So they give you $250 in credits, and no, you don't get it on the starter plan, but you do get it with the business plan and also with the pro plan. And the pro plan I should say, gives like some priority support with that. So across the board, some things that I really love about Coolhandle's web hosting is that one, is super cheap, very competitively priced. You get more than enough resources, 5 times as much resources than most of the regular competitors that are out there. I mentioned SiteGround, just one of them. You could look at Bluehost, you can look at iPage, Hostgator, and the like, and you'll see that again, Coolhandle really just beats them when it comes to resources on the first tier. You won't find anybody out there that gives more in the way of value for that. So again, only $395 per month. You can get started today by using the links below, and that way you can start creating your website today. So we talked about price and how is it that works. Of course, once you determine which of these 3 plans you'll go with, be it the starter plan, the pro plan, the business plan, whichever of the 3 that you really think would be best for you. I just recommend you getting started today with the plan that you feel is best for you. Again, if you need to create just one website and you're a beginner online, just stick with the starter plan itself. That's all you need with that. Once your website grows, which all websites do with time, once you grow with traffic and that over the next coming months or even on the year, if you want to scale up, you can do that easily with Coolhandle, and you can just shoot from the starter plan and go to the business plan and graduate eventually to the pro plan. It really just depends on you guys. You can purchase your domain through them. You get a free domain for your very first year, which is great because if you purchase a domain externally, like at another place like GoDaddy or Namecheap, GoDaddy, most.com domains cost about $15. And so again, you're going to get that for free for your very first year with Coolhandle. And after that first year, then it just reverts to whatever the cost of the domain name itself is, which again, most domains across the board, no matter which domain name registrar that you go to, usually range about $15, give or take, if it's a .com, .net, .org, or another top level domain. The cool thing about Coolhandle is that you can break down your web hosting to 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and even 36 months. A lot of web hosting providers out there require you to purchase an entire year's worth up front, or probably several years, I should say. But you do have the option to select between even 6 months increments of web hosting, which is great. It's very flexible, and I really like that they do offer that. Of course, as I mentioned in the beginning of this Coolhandle review, I personally, as a blogger and entrepreneur, I think and I always recommend newbies that when you're creating a website online and you're buying web hosting, it's always more beneficial to purchase more web hosting up front. You'll save a lot of money both on the front and back end when you do that. And so if you look, for example, like on the 36-month term itself, it breaks it down to $3.99 per month. If you're getting it like for 6 months, only 6 months, of course it would be a lot more expensive, like $7.95 if I can remember, $7.95. On a 12-month term, it's like $5.95. The 24 is like $4.95. So again, the more months that you purchase, the more you'll save, and that's why I recommend that if you purchase web hosting from any provider, not only Coolhandle, but if you do it at SiteGround, Bluehost, Hostgator, doesn't matter, whatever web hosting provider that you're purchasing your hosting from, it's always better to purchase more web hosting up front. You'll save a lot of money, and you'll thank yourself later for doing that. So let's talk about customer service. I told you guys in the beginning of this Coolhandle review how important customer service is to me. Before I ever get started with any web hosting provider, even if I'm just going to test a website for several months and then do a review for you guys, I always check out the customer service first. I'll pick up the phone, I'll call and ask different questions that are very simple questions just to see how knowledgeable customer service reps are. I also utilize like the chat service to see how fast they respond. Even the email service. I try to check these 3 different avenues if they're available for the host itself. That way I can talk to you guys, obviously, in the review to let you know what is it that you should expect before getting started with them. So one of the things that I wanted to mention is that I got in contact with Coolhandle, and one of their reps, her name was Beverly, super nice, very knowledgeable. I had a question, 2 questions that I asked her before I got started, and she answered them very fast, very knowledgeable, and for me that meant a lot to me. And so Beverly, kudos to you. I think that you're an asset to Coolhandle. Hopefully I'll get you again on the phone or so, but anyway, I think that customer service is extremely important. Coolhandle has 24/7 customer support, which is extremely important with any web hosting provider out there. As I mentioned, they do have phone support, there's email, and there's also chat support. You notice, guys, too, when you do a little bit of research and background on Coolhandle. I mean, they've been around for a long time, since 2001. From our research and looking at like sites like the Better Business Bureau, you see that they have an A rating there, and so I really admire that. Every web hosting provider has some complaints or something that a client may or may not like, and obviously Coolhandle is not the exception, of that. If you guys want to read more about some in-depth research that I found, on Coolhandle before getting started with them, you guys can check out the review that's right below. I'll link to it on my blog at learningnetwork.com, and that way you guys can really see again the benefits and disadvantages, because you always want to look at both when you're considering where you're going to put your money at and how you're going to create your website. Every web hosting provider, I should say, has benefits and disadvantages, and obviously in this Coolhandle review I wanted to highlight both. That way you guys can really and truly benefit from this information. So I mean, there are a lot of web hosting providers out there. I mentioned about Bluehost. I talked about SiteGround. There's A2 Hosting. I really love them. I have their light plan currently with A2 Hosting. HostPop is another really great one as well. All of these web hosting competitors of Coolhandle offer less in the way of resources on the first tier. And that's why I say in this review that Coolhandle is a really great web hosting provider that will give you more benefits, for your buck. And that's what you're really looking for if you're a beginner online, wanting to create like your very first website, especially if you're on a tight budget, which we all probably were at some point, creating like our business, online. You may not have a lot of resources to get started, but Coolhandle is a really great place to get your feet wet and to really grow your business over time with what they have in place. Three really great plans that they have. Again, the starter, the business, and the pro plan, all of which are super reliable when creating and maintaining your websites online. And of course, with Coolhandle they do use cPanel. So if you are familiar with cPanel and you want to migrate over to Coolhandle, they do have a free site migration service where they'll move your website over for free. And if you have cPanel currently where you're at right now and you want to use it with Coolhandle, great, they have it already, so it'll be an easy switch over to their platform. That way you can host it with them. So next up, I wanted to talk about uptime. So if you guys are totally new online and you don't understand or know what uptime is, it's basically a percentage of how often your website is visible online. It's a percentage of how often your website appears online. So for example, I mean, you guys are watching this video on YouTube, right? But if you're watching it on my blog and you were Googling online looking for Coolhandle review, or how is Coolhandle, is it reliable, whatever, and you click through my link and my link was down, unavailable, or it didn't load for some reason, that would be what's called an uptime issue. So how is Coolhandle's uptime? Are they really reliable? How's their performance online? I mention these things in this Coolhandle review because you should know and understand how well a web hosting service performs before getting started with them. Yeah, the reality is that if a website is up, then you're making money. If your website is down, then you're losing money. And especially if you have like an e-commerce store, if you're hosting with a web hosting provider that has bad uptime, they're just on and offline, just sporadically or what have you, it means that you're losing money. And that's not the case at all with Coolhandle. And so I wanted to talk about that briefly with you guys, that currently Coolhandle is maintaining an average of 99.999% or better with the web hosting itself. And again, we're talking about just shared. That's all I have, and I wanted to share that with you guys, like shared web hosting. If you want to get started with one of the three plans that I talked to you guys in the beginning, be it the starter, business, or the pro, they're maintaining an average of 99.999% or better with their web hosting itself. A lot of web hosting providers may have 99.95 or 94 9.4 or 9.3 or something like that. If it's probably like, Bluehost or EIG owned, company, something like that, but Coolhandle is not owned by EIG. They're a standalone company, and they have amazing uptime performance on their servers. So I did want to talk to you guys about that you can rest assured that the web hosting provider that you're getting started with is 100% reliable, and when people are searching for you online, they'll be able to find you because Coolhandle has really great uptime performance. So next I wanted to talk to you guys about the money back guarantee. So right now Coolhandle has a 30-day money back guarantee, and it's really standard with just about any web hosting provider that's out there. I mentioned several, in the onset of this video, but again, they do have a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you guys feel that Coolhandle is not for you, you can request your money back through customer service, and you can get it back 100%. So there's a 30-day money back guarantee, guys, that you will be able to take advantage of today. Let me talk a little bit about some of Coolhandle's competitors. I wanted to make this review 100% honest, and with that I wanted to give you again the positives and the negatives. With Coolhandle, I think they're an amazing provider. They're great to me. I think they have amazing customer support, really great performance, online. And the starter plan, as I mentioned before, guys, starts at $3.95, which is great, super affordable. But I want to compare and share with you guys some other providers as well that I'll link to right below. That way, if you want to check those out too, you can. One that I wanted to mention that is slightly cheaper than Coolhandle, and that's Hostgator. Hostgator is a web hosting provider. It's been around for quite some time, and they have 40 million customers around the world. They have data centers everywhere, and their web hosting starts at only 80 cents per month. So I mean, $3.95, great. Coolhandle, it's an amazing provider, and I highly recommend getting started with them. Hostgator, 80 cents per month on their very first tier, allowing you to create one website. Another one that I wanted to mention that I use currently as well, in addition to Coolhandle, is Namecheap. Namecheap has different web hosting as well. They have shared web hosting. There's WordPress web hosting as well with their EasyWP platform that they have that was in beta, but now it's out. Great platform that they have going right now. They have free domain privacy. You can get it as well with Coolhandle's web hosting, but Namecheap's web hosting starts at $2.88 per month. So slightly cheaper, few cents. I mean, again, $3.95, $2.88 per month with Namecheap. You're saving like a dollar and a few cents, right, per month with Namecheap. DreamHost is another web hosting provider as well that I love. Their web hosting starts at $2.59 per month, and again, I'll leave links right below for you guys. That way you can check them out and find out more information about them. That way you can compare the two with Coolhandle to see which one will be better for you. Should you go with Coolhandle, or should you go with perhaps one that's slightly cheaper? DreamHost, versus a 30-day money back guarantee, they give a 97-day money back guarantee, and again, it's $2.59 per month for DreamHost. Really nice provider. I just wanted to share those with you. That way you can consider the big picture and to see if Coolhandle is not for you, then maybe DreamHost may be. One last one that I wanted to share with you guys is Mochahost. And Mochahost provides also shared web hosting, just like Coolhandle. They have WordPress hosting, just like Coolhandle, but their web hosting starts at $1.95 per month. And again, if you're on my website watching this review for Coolhandle, you guys will have all this information there. You can check out the blog post right below in the descriptions portion of this video if you're on YouTube, and that way you guys can find out more in detail about these competitors for Coolhandle. So I mean, in this video, guys, I wanted to give you the big picture. Okay, I'm all about that, the big picture. One, we talked about pricing. I think they're an amazing web hosting provider. They're super affordable for beginners and even those that want to migrate for free over to Coolhandle's platform. Two, they have amazing customer support. The rep that I dealt with, she was amazing. very nice. She answered my questions, and it was very fast. You know what I mean? And I think that is extremely important, especially when you're in business. If you have questions or issues that arise, with your web hosting, you want to be able to pick up the phone quick, or get on a chat line or even email and be able to get in touch with somebody fast to get your issues or questions resolved in a very timely manner. So with Coolhandle, they have amazing customer support. And finally, we talked about the uptime. The uptime is rock solid. I think it's extremely important, guys, as bloggers and entrepreneurs, small business owners, that when you create a website online, it's extremely important that you partner with a web hosting provider that has rock solid uptime. Again, if you have a web hosting provider that has bad uptime, it means you are losing money. If you have good uptime, it means you are making money. You're getting all of that under one umbrella with Coolhandle. And of course, I talked about some competitors that are out there that do compete, with Coolhandle in the way of pricing. And yes, there are a lot of web hosting providers out there that may be cheaper or slightly cheaper than Coolhandle, but I think that none of them really have as much in the way of resources as Coolhandle has. I talked about in the beginning how even on the very first tier, the starter plan itself, there's nobody out there that really offers more that I've seen to date on the very first tier. And Coolhandle gives you 50 gigabytes of storage space with that. Many of the competitors, although they're cheaper, they only give you 10 gigabytes. So you're getting a lot of value, more than enough value, more value than the previous competitors that I mentioned. But again, I wanted to include them in this Coolhandle review to give you guys the big picture and to make sure that this review is 100% unbiased, and that way I'm not 100% leaning to one side or the other. But again, you guys will have more than enough information to really determine if Coolhandle is for you or not, guys. So what I'm going to do right now before I let you go is I want you to tell me which of the 3 plans that Coolhandle offers do you think will be best for you. Do you think the starter plan will be ideal, the business plan, or do you think the pro plan? Are you into affiliate marketing, network marketing, or you just want to create one website? Tell me, guys, what you think about this video review for Coolhandle, and drop your comments right below. I hope you guys so much success in your endeavors of creating your websites online for 2020 going beyond. You guys have an amazing day. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button right now. That way future videos, guys, that I put up about WordPress, SEO, and even marketing tips about like web traffic and the like, you guys will be sure to receive them. Thank you guys again for watching this Coolhandle review, and I'll catch you guys on the next. Take care.